A used iPhone 14 Pro sells for $1,200 on the secondary market. That's the going rate for a 2-year-old phone that'll be obsolete when Apple decides your battery health justifies forced upgrades. Meanwhile, there are 7 vehicles sitting on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace right now, actual running, driving, titled automobiles, trading for less than that depreciated smartphone. I'm not talking about salvage title disasters or vehicles missing critical components. I'm talking about platforms engineered during an era when durability mattered, when manufacturers built reputation through longevity instead of lease cycles, and when simple maintenance actually prevented problems instead of just delaying catastrophic failures. These aren't pretty. They won't impress anyone. Your neighbors will assume you're struggling financially, and your relatives will stage interventions about getting back on your feet. But here's what they don't understand. You'll be driving past their third finance crossover while still running the same sub-iPhone price vehicle you bought with pocket change. Let me show you the 7 beasts that refuse to die despite costing less than refurbished electronics. Subscribe to Car Care Nest and enable all notifications right now, because we're documenting the bottom dollar vehicles that keep running when everything expensive around them becomes scrap metal and financial regret. Number 1, Ford Crown Victoria, 1998 to 2002, Panther platform. Pre-2003 Crown Vics trade for $800 to $1,100 when mileage exceeds 200,000. But that 4.6-liter modular V8 is just getting broken in at those numbers. These engines were designed for taxi and police duty, requiring 500,000-mile service lives. The 4-speed automatic transmission is ancient AOHD design that Ford refused to update precisely because it wouldn't fail. What makes these exceptional is parts availability. Junkyards overflow with inventory because Ford sold millions across decades. Need an alternator? $15 at pull-apart. Transmission? $300 installed at any corner shop. A rideshare driver I know operates a 2001 with 273,000 miles bought for $900. He's driven it 87,000 miles, spending $600 total. Fuel pump, 1 coil pack, front brake pads. Fuel economy is terrible at 17 combined, but when purchase price equals 3 tank fills, efficiency calculations change dramatically. You're finding running examples with valid titles under $1,000 regularly. Number 2, Pontiac Grand Prix, 1997 to 2003, 8th generation. Late 90s Grand Prix sedans with 3.8-liter Series 2 V6 represent peak GM value engineering. That 3,800 engine runs to 400,000 miles with oil changes being literally the only requirement. The 4-speed automatic is proven hydromatic design across millions of vehicles. These hit sub-iPhone pricing because they're old and boring, but mechanical reality tells different stories. The Series 2 3800 has plastic upper intake developing coolant leaks around 90,000 miles. If replaced, you've got bulletproof transportation. A pizza delivery driver runs a 2001 with 298,000 miles bought for $700. Intake gasket was replaced at 120,000. He's driven it 178,000 miles, spending $430 total. Alternator, battery, front wheel bearings. Parts are absurdly cheap because GM used these components across dozens of platforms. You're finding running examples with 200,000 miles for $800 from sellers who don't know what they own. Number 3, Honda Accord, 1994 to 1997, 5th generation. 5th generation Accords at sub-iPhone pricing usually show cosmetic damage or high mileage, but mechanically they're identical to cleaner examples commanding $3,000. That F22 2.2-liter 4-cylinder is Honda's most understated achievement. Catastrophic failure is essentially myth. The 4-speed automatic has one weakness. Third gear clutch wears without fluid changes, but even transmission replacement costs less than 2 months of payments on anything newer. A student bought a 1996 with 247,000 miles for $1,000. It needed front struts. He spent $200 from Rock Auto and installed them using YouTube tutorials. 2 years later, it has 312,000 miles. Beyond struts, he spent $180. Distributor cap and rotor, brake pads, oil changes. Manual transmission versions are even better. You're finding running examples with valid emissions for 900 to 1200 regularly. Rust is the only concern. Check subframes in salt states. Number 4. Buick Century, 1997 to 2005, 6th generation. The Century is what Buick built for elderly buyers wanting reliability without pretense. You're finding garage-kept examples with low mileage at iPhone pricing because original owners passed away and estates want them gone. That 3.1-liter or 3.8-liter V6 represents peak GM pushrod simplicity. The 4-speed automatic is proven hydromatic that survives when fluid stays fresh. Estate sales are where these appear, priced to move because families don't want hassle. A nurse bought a 2002 with 63,000 original miles for $1,000 from an estate attorney. The deceased owner's maintenance records filled a shoebox. Every oil change documented back to purchase. She's driven it 48,000 miles in 3 years, spending exactly $200. Battery and wiper blades. Interior quality is velour comfort that aged well. Technology is non-existent beyond cassette player, which means nothing electronic fails. You're finding running examples with documentation for sub-iPhone money when timing coincides with estate liquidations. Number 5. Toyota Tercel, 1995 to 1999, 5th generation. Late 90s, Tercels surviving to represent automotive natural selection. Weak examples died decades ago. That 1.5-liter 5EFE 4-cylinder makes 93 horsepower and 35 highway mpg while lasting to 300,000 miles with oil changes only. The 3-speed automatic is hilariously outdated, but that simplicity translates to durability. Toyota Parts Network still supports them. Everything remains available through dealer channels. A delivery driver operates a 1997 with 289,000 miles bought for $800. The car came with maintenance records showing oil changes every 3,000 miles for 24 years. He's driven it 61,000 miles, spending $300 total. Clutch replacement at 300,000, front wheel bearing, brake pads. Rust kills these in northern climates. Check rocker panels carefully. Southern and western examples survive indefinitely because mechanicals simply don't fail. Number 6. Dodge Neon, 2000 to 2005, 2nd generation. 2nd generation Neons get zero respect, creating opportunity for informed buyers. That 2.0-liter SOHC 4-cylinder makes 132 horsepower and runs to 250,000 miles when maintained. The automatic transmission is the weak point. Chrysler's 3-speed needs fluid changes every 30,000 miles. Manual transmission versions eliminate that concern entirely. Head gasket issues plagued early production, but 2002-plus models got revised gaskets resolving the problem. A parts delivery driver runs a 2003 with 267,000 miles, bought for $600. Head gasket was replaced at $140,000. Receipt included. He's driven it 127,000 miles, spending $500 total. Alternator, front struts, serpentine belt. Parts are dirt cheap because Chrysler sold millions. You're finding manual transmission examples with high mileage for $700 to $1,000 regularly. Purchase price equals 2 weeks of rideshare driving. Number 7. Nissan Sentra, 1995 to 1999, B14 generation. 4th generation Sentras represent peak Nissan simplicity before transmission problems and quality collapsed. That 1.6-liter G A160E 4-cylinder makes 115 horsepower while delivering 33 combined mpg and running to 300,000 miles. The 4-speed automatic survives when fluid gets changed. Manual transmission versions are essentially indestructible. Nissan engineered for longevity before accountants took over. Rust protection is decent. Electrical systems don't corrode. Suspension components last. A bike courier bought a 1998 with 293,000 miles for $900 from an elderly woman. Service records showed maintenance at Nissan dealer for 15 years. He's driven it 57,000 miles, spending $270, distributor cap and rotor, front wheel bearing, brake pads. Interior is basic but functional. Technology is non-existent beyond AM/FM radio. You're finding running examples with valid titles for sub-iPhone money when sellers don't realize what they own. $1,200 for a used iPhone represents consumption spending on a depreciating asset that'll be obsolete within 3 years. That same money purchases actual transportation, vehicles that move humans and cargo, while providing utility smartphones can't approach. These 7 platforms prove bottom-dollar pricing doesn't mean gambling on disasters when you understand which vehicles were engineered for durability before planned obsolescence became industry standard. The market punishes age and mileage without considering actual mechanical condition, creating opportunities for buyers who separate cosmetic concerns from drivetrain longevity. When you're shopping at iPhone pricing, verify major systems function properly and accept that cosmetic perfection is impossible at this price point. Prioritize maintenance documentation, inspect for structural rust, and buy the best maintained example available. Subscribe to Car Care Nest because we're exposing the sub-$1,000 vehicles that keep running when everything expensive fails. Buy the beasts everyone overlooks, maintain them minimally, and profit from transportation economics that seem impossible in the modern automotive landscape where average payments exceed $600 monthly.